Greetings and solutions, Kendra here, and today, and as you guys might be aware, I'm currently in the process of releasing my next book. You might have already seen my video where I'm challenging you to scavenge your bookshelf in hopes of winning a paperback, and if not, please go check that out and go scavenge your bookshelf in hopes of winning a paperback. But today, I've got another challenge for you guys. See, I've got the book up and ready for pre-order, link in the description. And I thought it'd be a fun challenge to see if I could hit a certain number of pre-orders. The most I've ever gotten is 7, but I'm going to go for 10. And I thought, how can I reward my lovely people for buying my book early? You know, besides giving them a lower price, because I'm going to put it up to $3.99 when it releases, and it's currently sitting at $2.99. But how can I reward my lovely people, internet people, for buying my books? And I'm like, I can read the book. I'm willing to go up to chapter 10. And to earn these chapters, the first chapter here today is free. But to get subsequent chapters, I will be posting them every 10 pre-orders I get. So when I get to 10 pre-orders, I'll post chapter 2. If I get to 20 pre-orders, I'll post chapter 3. If I can get to 30, I'll post chapter 4, and so on and so forth. But I don't think I'm going to get up to 90, which is why 90 is 10 is a pie in the sky. But that's all the further I'm willing to go. So let's see if we can earn me reading the book. So let's start out with chapter 1, which I do have posted on my blog, which is why I'm going ahead and reading it, because you guys already have the text. I'm actually reading the version that I have on my blog because I haven't bothered to email me a new edition. I'll do that shortly. So subsequent chapters will be read off either my Kindle or if and when I get the proof copy, and I'll be reading off of that. So, but we're reading chapter 1 off of my phone on my blog, and so yeah, let's plunge in. Anywho, chapter 1. Hold still, my lady. Braiding isn't as easy as it looks. I'm sorry. Obsidia glanced in the mirror at her maid, Julie. I didn't realize. Julie clucked her tongue. I do wish you wouldn't read while I did your hair. Not that I'm saying you can't, or shouldn't. Mind you, I know my place. But you move more than you realize. It'd make my job a lot easier if you wouldn't. Obsidia was spared the necessity of response by her mother's entrance. How is she coming? The suitors are gathered and waiting, Queen Adelaide announced. And you know how Ossian feels about making his guests wait. She's ready, said Julie, stepping away from Obsidia. At least as ready as I can get her. I frankly can't see how any girl can be ready for the sort of decision that she's about to make. Not that it'll be much of a decision, said Queen Adelaide. She put a hand on Obsidia's shoulder. Ossian will tell you who to pick, dear, so you needn't stress yourself about it. But at least you have the opportunity to reject his suggestion, which is more than what I had. I know, Obsidia admitted. Still, all of my suitors are little more than strangers. Nice young men, all of them, I'm sure, but I can hardly see myself married to any of them. The day my engagement was announced was the day I first met your father, said Queen Adelaide, and I came to love him. You Dialsian princesses are so fortunate, and still seem fit to complain. Still, stand up and let me have a look at you. Obsidia did as her mother bid. Do I look all right? You look beautiful, of course. Queen Adelaide's expression relaxed. Ah, but it's hard to believe that this day has come at last. It seems only yesterday you were but a babe in my arms. Only yesterday that finale lily, mother, Obsidia prompted, when Queen Adelaide was reminiscing of Obsidia's father, whom Ossian had killed the very night of Obsidia's birth. Obsidia didn't blame her mother for her resentment, but she didn't want another lecture about how things were before that fateful night. "Oh, yes, of course, dear." Queen Adelaide shoved the flower she held into Obsidia's outstretched hand. Then she caressed Obsidia's cheek. "Your father would have been so proud of you." Obsidia glanced down. "I am only a daughter." Queen Adelaide withdrew her hand and gave a sad smile. "Your father was a man of strange ideas. I do not think that you would have disappointed him. Besides, had he lived, I surely would have had more children." "They're waiting on me," said Obsidia, not sure what else to say. Queen Adelaide sighed. "Yes, I suppose they are. Well, get along with you, then." Obsidia nodded and hastened out the door. It was nearly noon, the hottest and heaviest hour of the day. She wished that the choosing ceremony could take place earlier in the day, but such was not tradition. Noon was also the brightest hour, and the decision that she was about to make wasn't one to be made in the dark. "Ah, there you are, Obsidia. My, but you look beautiful today." Queen Obsidia. Why am I calling her Queen? Really? Yeah. Obsidia smiled and blushed as she took King Ossian's arm. Because her father had no male heir, Ossian had become king and said he would oversee the ceremony and offer Obsidia his advice. "Thank you," she whispered. "The simple look suits you," King Ossian continued. "You're the sort of girl whose inner beauty outshines any girl." I don't think that's the word I need to have there. Just inside there. I'm making an editing note that outshines any girl. Just putting it. I think. I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say. Oh, embarrassment. This is why I'm not done editing. Whose inner beauty outshines something. I'm probably going to say, whose inner beauty shines best without embellishment. Say that. Let's continue. Obsidia's blush deepened. "Thank you." She was dressed as tradition demanded, in simple white dress and no jewelry. Her black hair was done in a simple braid down her back, and on her feet were a pair of delicate slippers. "Come now, we mustn't keep the young men waiting." "No." "Speaking of your suitors, there is a matter of which of them you are to accept as your future husband. An important decision indeed. Have," King Ossian continued as they began walking, "have any of them caught your eye? Corin of Fyar is quite a handsome young man, and did well in all of the tournaments. Harold of Holland may not be much to look at, but his country is wealthy, and you would want for nothing as his king. I saw you talking with Zero Zavordia. You'd be taking a gamble with him, what with his mask and all, but if you're intrigued by the mystery—" Obsidia shook her head. "They're all strangers to me, every one of them. How can I possibly choose from among them?" "You wish a husband whom you already know?" asked King Ossian, nodding thoughtfully. "I suppose that is understandable." "I know. You know, as I recall, there will be a young man in the room who isn't a stranger to you. While he isn't officially your suitor, I don't think that he would be adverse to marrying you." "Delaney?" She blinked at the thought. "While law forbids him from actually being your suitor, nothing forbids you from giving him your lily. Indeed, you would be the third Dialsian princess to make such a choice." "True." King Ossian. Delaney was King Ossian. Why am I mixing up the kids with their parents? Why? Alright, yeah, hopefully future videos will go better. Delaney was King Ossian's son and heir. Obsidia had always seen him as more of a brother than anything else, but she supposed she could see herself married to him, sooner him than any of her official suitors. I'm not saying whether you should or shouldn't, King Ossian added. I don't want to decide your future for you. You're a smart girl, Obsidia. I just wanted to make sure you knew that you had the option. The same law that forbade Delaney from courting her forbade Ossian from making that and from doing anything more than suggesting him. Thank you. I'll think about it. They said nothing more until they reached the room where her suitors were gathered, waiting for her to choose from among them. You have a head on your shoulders, King Ossian assured her. I trust you to make the right decision. As she stepped into the room, Obsidia wished that she had the same confidence in herself. Corin, Harold, and Zero were seated in a circle in the center of the room, along with Prince Evan of Elveria and Yuri of the Veniers. The Elven and Merfolk princes, however, were her suitors for political politeness only. Oh, tongue twisters. Several important Dialsian nobles and officials, including Delaney, stood against the walls, there to stand as witnesses for this most solemn of occasions and prevent anything untoward from happening. Gripping the lily stem tightly, she circled the 5 men. Once, twice, 3 times. All eyes were on her, and she shrank under the scrutiny. How was she supposed to make this decision under such pressure? Evan and Yuri were eliminated automatically, and perhaps Zero as well, for he was her second cousin, and that was a bit too close of a relation for comfort. That left Corin and Harold and Delaney. She glanced at Delaney's direction for half a moment and received an encouraging smile. She felt her confidence rise. Corin was a handsome young man, dashing and daring too, but Obsidia found that intimidating rather than endearing. She couldn't see herself marrying him. She was too quiet, and he'd likely forget about her within minutes after the wedding. Harold was the best match politically, but he was a terribly dull fellow who only cared about what he could put in her stomach. She frankly didn't see how he'd make a good king when the time came, much less a husband. Then there was Delaney, standing tall and handsome with his father's golden hair and blue eyes. They'd grown up together. He was kind, caring, funny, intelligent, and a dear friend. She married Harold or Corin. She would have to travel to their country, live among strangers, and learn traditions that could be radically different from her own. If she married Delaney, little would have to change. Her mother might not approve of her marrying Ossian's son, but Obsidia preferred not to take a risk with love. Lifting her chin, she made one last circuit of the princes, then stopped in front of Delaney and held out the Nally lily to him, held out her heart. I know you're not my suitor, she said quickly, but you're a dear friend to me, and nothing in Dialsian law forbids me from choosing you. Will you have me? He didn't answer at first, and while he didn't appear terribly surprised, it was clear that he hadn't expected her to ask him. She bit her lip, suddenly very unsure of herself. Did he not want to marry her? Had she just ruined their friendship forever? Unlike her suitors, he had the power to refuse her. She wanted to run from the room, lock herself in her own, and cry away this terrible ceremony. Only her dignity as princess kept her rooted where she stood, and she wasn't sure that it would hold her much longer before it ran out. But before it ran out, his reassuring grin quirked the corner of his mouth, and his hand closed around hers, taking the lily away from her. City, and her heart leapt at the nickname. I'd be honored. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, that's chapter 1. And yeah, I stumbled over some words, but yeah, I tried it in one shot. You're not going to get it straight in one shot. So yeah, chapter 1, if you'd like to get sneak peeks at subsequent chapters, just remember, go to Amazon, pre-order the book while it's $2.99 and get yourself, an early chance, get yourself set and sure that you're going to get the book, and then get yourself a possibility of hearing more of the story early. So, Kendra out. Hopefully I get to read more. Check out Amazon.